Hi, it's your astrologer from bellodeveroofficial.wordpress.com, and I'm doing another birth chart reading for Harry Styles. So I'm talking about Lilith today, and also just like sexual power and just being sexy in the astrology birth chart. So with what I've studied, I'm talking about what I found that has to deal with Mars, Venus, Pluto, North Node. I'm gonna maybe talk about the vertex just a little bit, just because it's something that exists. And Lilith, like I said, that's part of this subject. So, maybe I'll just show you what I have. I don't know if that's exactly clear, but that's my notes. Just some aspects and just a little bit about Lilith. There are 4 Liliths. The asteroid, one I'm not going to talk about at all today. Black moon, that's the dark side of the moon, the dark in everyone. And, well, dark moon Lilith and black moon Lilith. The asteroid is just a basic, like, shadow side of Lilith, like, just the basic kinds of things I'll tell you about. But the black moon Lilith is, let's start with the dark moon Lilith. So that's when Lilith is when you want to, like, be true to yourself and your nature, your whatever your personality is, like the dark side of it or the sexual power of it. It's not all sexual for each zodiac sign, but definitely your Lilith, your black moon Lilith is in Aries, so that's definitely the strongest placement for this, and that's mine also. So I can give you a little bit of insight on it, from personal experience. So it's not just research I've done. I know what it's like. So, but each Lilith can possibly be in a different zodiac sign. So your asteroid Lilith is in Sagittarius. Your black moon Lilith, that's like the normal one, like that's on like basic birth charts. And then your black moon Lilith is in Aries. Your dark moon Lilith is in Pisces. So it's a little bit kind of different for each, but basically Lilith though is about for men and women, it's going against society, like what they expect of you. It's being true to yourself and your power and your personality, but like about Lilith things about power. Lilith doesn't like being told what to do or how to breathe or what to wear or who to be around, or she wants to do everything like exactly how she wants it to be done. And it can either go like in a selfish way, like going after what you deserve in a selfish way, or in a healthy way, and it can be a mix of both for everyone. Because no point or planet or asteroid or anything in the birth chart or angle house, none of it has some perfect, personality or whatever. It has good and dark. So there can be a mix of this where you're growing up and you're trying to figure out who you are or just be true to yourself, and people are like, telling you how to breathe and saying you should wear this and not that, and um have that kind of personality, like, not uh rebellious or not, Lilith likes being rebellious and independent, and you know she can be selfish, and um really, depending on the zodiac sign, especially Aries, which is yours, really sexual and, like, powerful, and can have rage in her. And the thing is with Lilith, this rage goes along with purity. Like, it can get and mixed up in your mind and how you relate to people, and like not separating the two. And that's when the dark side of you can come out, when you mix those two and you're not keeping them separate. And it's like people, Lilith can scare people, and especially for men, it's what he's attracted to in a woman and what terrifies him in a woman. It's how a man treats a woman, whether he victimizes her or respects her, or lets her victimize him, or wants respect from her. And just for a woman, basically, it's just, owning your own self, like who you are, and being true to yourself. And it's, whenever people are, trying to, control you, Lilith goes against that and makes her own identity, and shows that to people. She doesn't let people tell her how to be. She tells people who she is. And um it's just about being true to yourself, and how, and demanding equality, and like how you go about that. Because, like I said, you either do it in a selfish way or a healthy way. Usually a mix of both, and it's not just perfectly one way or the other. And she's all about being intense and rebellious, and you know doesn't like, normal kind of boring, kinds of ways of being. She likes to be, out there, and like, be surprising, or on purpose, or just naturally, like, just be true to yourself. And um yeah, it can get really, like, dark. This is, if you want to know what's deep down inside of someone and what's going to come out, and really the dark side of someone, this is one of the things to look at. You know, like Pluto stuff is in the eighth house and inner demons, but when you really are being true to yourself and what's deep down inside of you, what you don't want to be controlled, what you want to show people, this is what you look at when you're going against society and wanting to be, just exactly who you are, and you don't give a crap what people think of you. And Lilith, she's selfish, and she can be a bitch, like, in everyone. Um, Especially, like, if your Lilith is in fire, especially Aries, and if you have a lot of planets and stuff in fire or air, this is like, I just want to see one thing here. Oh yeah, okay. I just wanted to see how I worded one thing. I just want to make sure I get across to what this is really about. So when you have fire and uh, a Lilith in Aries, like yours, or in any fire sign, or in air, and then you have other planets in air, and especially fire, like your ascendant or anything. Lilith is gonna be like out there, like in the public, when you are, or when you're in your home or anywhere. People are gonna notice your Lilith when it's in Aries. People are gonna notice this so much about you. Like, it's gonna be on the surface, like, you know, front and center. No hiding it, no being ashamed of it, no being like unaware, or um when you would have like water or um uh water or earth signs, and you have a fire sign like Aries, fire sign, which you obviously have air and fire in you more. So definitely people are going to notice your Lilith about you, like that. But I'm just explaining Lilith. If you have water and earth planets, and then you have fire Lilith, Lilith then is going to be on the inside of you, more kind of secretive. So, but with you, yours is, it's, front and center. People can see it, and there's no, like, being confused about seeing this, with the Aries, Lilith, and with the fire and the air planets and the ascendant, and, all the four angle houses. They're really important when your Lilith is in fire, and then some of them are in fire and air. People are really going to notice this about you. And um so Lilith is really provocative and unrestrained, um and like, just, the wild in everyone. And especially when you get with certain people, this can, come out even more. Um so but for um yeah. Okay, so the dark moon Lilith is when she, growing up, was restrained and didn't like it, and she was like, I'm gonna get you back for this. So dark moon Lilith is all about plotting revenge, and, you know, figuring out how to get back at people for this, you know, because she likes her independence, and especially Lilith in Aries. Aries is independent already, but it's like double when Lilith is in Aries. You know, extremely independent, and just like doesn't give a crap what people think of her. You know, Lilith in Aries, or you being having a Lilith in Aries. You're just gonna be really true to yourself. And not care what people think. That's not all bad or anything, but Lilith has a dark side to her, like I said, where it can get really dark, and, like relating to people or relating to yourself. So you have to know about this, this side of you. And so the dark moon Lilith is all about revenge. Um and, not, she doesn't want to, like, stand down and be like, okay, whatever, I'll just go along with, how people are treating me. But Lilith, Dark Moon Lilith, will get revenge and plot against people that have wronged her. And this is really where a Lilith can, like, get nasty, even sometimes. But then Black Moon Lilith, that's the typical Lilith, like I said, that is in birth charts. Like, what, when you first put in a birth chart, that's the Lilith that comes up usually. And whenever you're doing a birth chart reading, not reading, but figuring out your Liliths, like the 3 or 4 of them, you have to put in certain things for the other ones to come up. but just the main one that comes up automatically is Black Moon Lilith. So this is whenever after you've gotten the revenge and after you've shown people who you are, and this is when you can really actually heal from it and just be a strong person, but like and be true to yourself. Still Lilith, definitely, and be, who you want to be and show people who you are. But this is actually the one where you can heal from these, relationships that have wronged you or whatever after Dark Moon Lilith gets her revenge. Um, so like I said, your Black Moon Lilith is in Aries, like the strongest placement to have. Your Dark Moon Lilith is in Pisces. Um, Dark Moon Lilith um, in Pisces is all about like addictions and stuff. And that's all about like, that can be really dark too, but it's not as sexual or anything like Black Moon Lilith in Aries is. Um, but I'm just gonna mainly talk about Black Moon Lilith. So, like I said, this is all about um your creative potential and like um when you're after you've healed or when you the Lilith that can do that. Um, and yours is in Aries, like I said. So this is like when you are independent, you can do that in a healthy way. Um, but it's doubly independence and powerful. And like I said, provocative. Lilith is still, you know, Lilith. So whenever people are seeing Lilith in you, they're going to see the provocative side of you, and they're really independent and just saying what you want and feeling what you want and just living the way you want to. Um, and this is what, like I said, when you have your Lilith harshly aspected, like the difficult aspects, especially square or opposition, or conjunction is one of the difficult ones to Saturn or Pluto or Uranus, especially, or some of the personal planets. Some the research I've done, some astrologers talk about the sun more, which is your ego, but your Lilith, your Black Moon Lilith, is in Aries 22, and your sun sign is in Aquarius at 11 degrees, which is a good aspect, even though it's a little bit sort of far apart. It's still, with the personal planets, you still have to look at it like it's that aspect because it's really going to show up that way, even if it can be another one at times, like a minor aspect or something. This is so close that it's really, it's one of the two good aspects to sextile. So there's no problem there. It complements each other really well, with what you want to do with your Lilith, like the good side of it. But it's like uh mainly good aspects basically, because you have 4 out of 5 planets in Aquarius, but your moon is in Libra, which opposes your Lilith, your Black Moon Lilith. So that can be, something to, think about. With an opposition, they're just opposite. But your moon is emotions. So Lilith, especially in Aries, that's a really strong placement. So you have a lot of sexual power in you, and then Lilith, when a man is around women, there can be issues there sometimes if it's harshly aspected. If you have a bunch of aspects, or the difficult ones. Your Pluto is in Scorpio, like all of ours are, it's a generational planet. So the Scorpio and Aries is like not one of the three main difficult aspects. Your Saturn is in Pisces, so the Saturn, um, it's at 0 degrees, and it's an out of sign conjunction, like very like not close in degree, and so 22 degrees in Aries to then the next sign is Pisces at 0, it goes up to 29 and then turns into 0, the next zodiac sign. So it's not so close together, but if you would consider it an out of sign aspect, it's a conjunction. So it's not going to be like a square or anything. So I think we gotta look at that a little bit. Which I'll do more videos on, explain it better. I'm not going to go into a bunch of details because I want to talk about these other things too. But Lilith in a man is like how he relates to women, what terrifies him, and who he's attracted to. Like, same person who he's extremely attracted to and who terrifies him. So you gotta look at that. Like, it's when you have struggles with this woman or women, like throughout your life, if you're dating, different people or something, or just around people, friends, this can also play out in that kind of a situation. Not that you would just date everyone that you're around, but it can be that, or just friends or acquaintances, because Lilith is strong. So whenever she makes any aspects to other people's birth charts, you're going to notice it whether you're dating or not, or whether you're attracted to the person or not. But definitely you're going to notice it more if there's aspects where you're attracted to each other, or dating or whatever, that kind of situations. So Lilith in that situation, if there's struggles because of the difficult aspects, if you are noticing any aspects are giving you issues with it, it's going to be that she terrifies you and that you want to control her and you want to tell her how to breathe. That's what Lilith is naturally about with men and women, and that if it's a difficult thing happening sometimes, or a lot, or whatever, that's what it's all about, power struggles, and seeing who you are, seeing the difficult things in you. So you want to see how you are around women, and the rest of the birth chart is the way it is, and there's plenty of good aspects. But if you have your birth chart, your Lilith in a couple different aspects, like difficult aspects to your birth chart, then this can play out like this. Like, there's struggle issues with women. Like I said, respecting them or them respecting you, or a mix of that. Like, especially you, like men, like this is for all men, but Lilith and Aries especially strong about this. Like, if there's any difficult aspects, it's gonna be like, you being terrified and you wanting to control the situation and deal with it in your own controlling way, like not letting it be, not letting the women be just whatever way they are. Lilith in a man, with these difficult aspects, especially in synastry too, your Lilith aspecting the women's birth charts, you want to, like, make sure they're, behaving the way you think they should, because there's this really terrifying aspect of, relating to each other that is going on, especially within the man being terrified. This woman, he finds assertive and powerful, and you gotta look at the specific, relating to each other, how she'll actually relate to you. You gotta look at that to see how you have to think about, like, how you want to relate to her. If if she's respecting you, or trying to, or, trying to not be the masculine one in the situation. If she's trying to respect you and communicate with you, or, like, work things out where, she's not walking all over you, you got to think about that. And you got to think about that with this fear that Lilith puts in you when you're around women, when you have couple aspects in your birth chart, or when your Lilith aspects women's birth charts. You have to think about, like, your actual relating to each person you're around, and see what actually is going on. And this is part of the birth chart reading where, you know, I want to make sure, like, when you have Lilith things going on, you have to stop and think about it, because, you know, some people might know about Lilith, others might not. Or if you don't know that there's such a thing as Lilith, but you know yourself, you know, each person is going to be different. Even if you have some fire and earth, fire and air, and a fire or air Lilith, there can be other things in people's birth charts where not everyone's going to relate to you the same way and walk all over you. So you have to think about this in your own Lilith, in your own birth chart, your own personality. Set aside the fact that you're allowed to be yourself and you're allowed to be your Lilith, and you want people to see that. That's cool. But think about, how people are around each other, and don't freak out if just in a Lilith way, if things are maybe okay. This part of this is, something to think about. It's not just being true to yourself, not just that part of it. It's relating to people and think about what's actually going on. But Lilith and Aries, though, is, like I said, really unrestrained and really sexual and powerful, and wants to just be, independent and be true to yourself, and, like, let people see that, which with your job especially, this is easy to do. Your Lilith, like, like, people can see it in you, it, which I think is a cool thing to be able to do. So that that's a really fun part of Lilith. I can't say that word sometimes, but anyway, too many L's and I's. Um, so um, people really can see this in you, and that's cool. Like, I love Lilith. Like, that's one of my favoriteest things in astrology, and it's really important to be true to yourself. Make sure you are being true to yourself, and exactly who you want to be, because there's nothing more important than being true to yourself, first of all. But let's just move on now to the other things. The vertex is like a second descendant, the seventh house. It's on the western side of the sky when you're born. The ascendant is the opposite one. So it's on the eastern side when you're born. The sign that's rising in the sky when you're born is the ascendant, which is your public persona. The descendant is the seventh house. It's the other half of you, business or romantic, but it's also the qualities in you also, not just what you want in another person. The vertex is like a second descendant. So I'm including that in my research because I'm including all the four angle houses because they're the backbone of the houses. The ascendant makes up it's your time of birth, and it makes up half the birth chart. It's your public persona. It rules your chart. So whenever your ascendant is in certain zodiac signs, which yours is in one of these that I'll explain, then you're gonna have this sexiness to you and sexual power that people can really see. But when any of the angle houses are in a zodiac sign, I count that also. So I'm counting the vertex because of that, because it's the second descendant. So your vertex is in Taurus, which is one of the zodiac signs that I'm talking about, which gives you or anyone, this sexy, aura about you. Um, because this is when it's not about your looks as much as it's an aura about you. Because any fat person, any person that anyone could consider kind of, not good looking or anything can have these in them. And then you're going to be sexy. Being sexy is not about your actual face, it's about what's in your birth chart, the sexy aura about you, magnetic attraction. When people see this stuff in you, they're magnetically attracted to you. And the more you have, the more it is. And then the more you have power over people. Like you have plenty of it because so your vertex is in Taurus, your ascendant is in Libra, moon is in Libra, Mars. I'm counting these because it's zodiac signs too, because you have to look at that also, because the degrees being right next to each other doesn't always make the biggest difference, because it's going to show up whether it's the exact same degree or not, because it's the same zodiac sign. So I definitely count this in my studies of astrology, my practice. So there's that one. Vertex, ascendant, Mars square Pluto, Venus square Pluto, Sun square Pluto, Mars conjunct Venus, Sun conjunct Venus, and Mars, Venus in the fourth house, Sun conjunct Venus. No, I said that one already. Sun, uh, Lilith in Aries is one, and then it's just a second here. Where's my phone? Conjunct the seventh house. No, I don't. Yeah, the sun is conjunct the seventh house. Sorry about that. I had to figure out what my notes were about. So, um, your, um, sorry, I just have to tell you about this. The Lilith is in the sixth house. Yeah, that's the Virgo house, but it's in Aries. But it's the sun and some of those planets in the seventh house, which is an angle house, which is one of the houses you have to look at. For this, like when it's conjunct an angle. Sorry. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of these, if I'm counting right. So you have quite a bit. 4 or 5 even is a lot of sexual power and sexiness in someone, but 12, that's like mega, you know. Um, I'd say actually 13, because the vertex is in the eighth house, and anything that goes in the eighth house, any of these, you know, that counts as one also. So that's 13, I'd say. Because, like I said, the vertex is basically one of the 4 angle houses. It's more about fate, fated events, and people you're around. But since it's the second descendant, I like to count it as one because it's something that some astrologers don't use, but I like to look at it sometimes for different things. This is one because I think it's important to know about. It's not like it exists, so you should know about it. But so that's that part of that. Libra, Aries, they're opposite. Like on the the modalities, there's 3 and 4 zodiac signs. So Aries and Libra are opposite, Aries and Libra. And then that's cardinal signs. And Scorpio and Taurus is another one. Taurus and Scorpio are opposite because those 4 zodiac signs are ruled by Venus and Mars. Venus is love and Mars is sex. So that's the 2 personal planets we look at, and then we look at Pluto because that's sexual power and control and jealousy and obsession and sexual attraction. And the North Node is the dragon's head. It's the thing that wherever it is, it just wants more and more and more and more of it. So we don't look at all the 3 difficult aspects with the North Node, or we do some of these other things that I've mentioned for you, but it's one of the 4 Mars, Venus, Pluto, and the North Node we look at. So that's what we're talking about with these. And in those 4 zodiac signs, or when they're in the difficult aspect, the difficult aspects make it so you really can see someone's personality and power in them. And it's when people are attracted to such people like you with these, like this is magnetic attraction. But in the birth chart, these aspects, like people will definitely notice you, like right off the bat, like with these, like it's very obvious, And with the sun conjunct these, that's your ego, so it's your expression. So that's why we count that one. And the ascendant is your public persona. It rules your whole chart. So that's basically what that's about. Yeah, because your ascendant is in Libra, your moon is in Libra, and then like Venus and Mars are not in the same house, but they're in the same zodiac sign, so I count that as one because they're in the house next to each other. It's kind of close. That gives you like that's an aspect where like your body movements are like smooth and like good at dancing, or even if there's something about you that is like Aquarius. I noticed this because I am one. Aquarius can kind of have this fumbly kind of all over the place kind of way of moving, and their personality is like not so smooth and like like walking straight, like a model would. Like I run into everything, but even if it's that kind of personality that you have or whatever, there's still this confidence about you with your sun sign, and then these aspects. So people are going to notice that about you, but see sexy in you, not not anything clumsy or bad or ugly. It's not. It's there with these aspects, these sexy aspects and zodiac signs and stuff. They're gonna see, you know, power in you and attractiveness, like magnetic, this magnetic sexual power about you. With that kind of personality, they're gonna, not notice any kind of like any part of your personality about other things I've mentioned. They're going to just notice this sexiness about you. With that aspect, especially, is one of them that makes it that way. And so basically, that's what this reading is about. So I'll be doing other readings, as many as I can study. There's plenty more that I can study from your birth chart, and another one today sometime. So I hope you like this one.